Hi and welcome along to DR Sports. We're here for another roundtable debate. Joining me, I've got Nicky from West Ham Fan TV, Matisse, Chelsea fan as we know, and Doyle, Big Red.
Massive.
And when I say red, I don't mean Arsenal. I mean he's a big Liverpool fan. Of course, me representing Arsenal, and we're here to debate. Debate that we're going to kick off with today is this, right? Will Chelsea give Graham Potter time?
Okay.
Let's ask you first, Matisse, right?
Okay.
Because I picked up, even today, I picked up a newspaper and it said, Chelsea sack. And I was like, here we go. I mean, these guys only had one game, they sacked him already. But I realised it was actually the commercial director that they sacked.
Yeah.
Right? Are you lot going to give this guy time? We know that Graham Potter is a really talented manager, but I heard people whinging after the first Champions League game when you had that draw.
Really?
Yeah, I heard people whinging.
I'm shocked. I mean, it's the first game. You shouldn't really be judging anybody based
Normal
on their
teams
first
wouldn't.
game. Normal teams wouldn't. It's a Chelsea thing, so welcome. You know what I mean? But for me, they have to give him time. They have no choice. If it was the old regime and the old ownership, I say no, of course, because they're just the track record is right there for you to see that there's no way they're going to give him time. But this regime, they have to, because the way that they're going about things with the big new contracts, sacking a fan favourite in Tuchel, which is fine because they kind of explain their reasons to it in terms of the working relationship wasn't exactly how they wanted it, and they want to work in a certain way with a different culture. Maybe Tuchel was more of a Roman manager.
But then why did, even going back to that Tuchel thing, right? Why then give him Aubameyang on deadline day, right? You know, on deadline day, right? That's why, for me, what they said with that sacking, all of that don't add up to me, because I'm like, if you know, if there's been a build up to that, you wouldn't give the guy the player that he's requested directly. The player said, I'm coming to play for him. You wouldn't do that on deadline day if you've got in mind to sack him.
Yeah, I found that strange. Every other move you could say was a club deal in a way, and it could be easily transitional to the next guy. But Aubameyang was definitely, that's too cool. That's 100%, 33-year-old striker. You don't bring a player like that in, no resale value unless that's for the manager. But in that deal, they was able to get rid of Marcos Alonso, and that was really, really important.
To Barcelona, by the way.
Yeah.
Why did they buy him, lad?
Hey, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Just get who they want.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, they are.
So we already have Chilwell and Cucurella. We didn't need Marcos Alonso still on the book. So that's the real big bonus of that deal. And we needed a striker. We spoke about it for so long. Everybody was saying, Chelsea needed a striker. So that was what was left in the market, was him and Depay, and that was about it. So for me, when you give Potter, 5-6 year deal, major money, he's on 12 million a year, 60 million contract, 5 years. That's a lot of money. So you have to give him time. He's not an instant success
let me ask
manager.
you this question, right? But will they give him time though? Because I know I know all about this, right? With Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, first season he come in, he won the FA Cup, but he finished 8th. Second season, finished 8th again. No European football. Last season finished 5th. But they have given him time, and you're starting to see now he's kind of got his own team and things are improving, and it's really looking so far, and that's so far, looking good, right? Let's just say Graham Potter finishes 6th this season and no trophy.
Yeah. You got to stick by him. You have to.
Number one, do you think the fans would stick by him? Because what they've been used to over the years, no trophy, right? And would the board stick with him?
I think the board have to, and I think there was a report that said if they finished outside the Champions League, they would still keep him on. Obviously, the goal is always to be in the top 4 minimum, but this is not a manager that is about instant success. This is a manager that comes in to lay down the blueprint of how we're going to play and, change the culture at the club and try to build a more long-term sustainable project.
What Chelsea want, though?
That is apparently, according to what these owners, say, this is what they want. They want to build for the long term. And my thing is with Chelsea is that this hiring and firing thing, if you look at the first decade in Roman and the second decade, it's not comparable in terms of the trophies won. So this hire and fire model is not working.
Nicky, let me ask you the same question. Chelsea finished 6th this season, right? No trophies. Do you think Potter stays?
No, I think he goes.
I
think he goes because one game, and I saw the fans moaning about him, and the Chelsea fans, I think one of their problems is if it ain't a top manager, they're willing to just cut ties. Tuchel, right, was terrible. He was a terrible manager.
You think?
I thought
He won the Champions League.
So did Roberto Di Matteo.
Not really comparable.
Why not?
If you watch the way we won it and each game that we dominated throughout the knockout rounds compared to Matteo, which was low block, surviving for your life, penalty miss from
Win's a
Messi,
win.
thing. A win's a win, but it's the
Champions
way you win.
League
You have to compare
trophy
it.
is a
You
Champions
wouldn't
League trophy.
Yeah, but
he was a terrible manager. By the time he left there, and don't get me wrong, he had a lot to deal with. Yeah, a lot to deal with. But it was always someone else's fault. It was always this. It's this fault. That's why they got rid of him. He was more trouble than he was worth in the end. And that's why they got rid of him. So you would say they have got, because as you say, they've given him this much money, they've given him the striker that he wants. After 22 minutes of playing with his striker, they've got rid of him. Like, just a quick decision. Yeah. I don't think the fans would accept it. I don't think the fans were that. Matisse would be able to tell me a bit more, but from what I've seen, they wasn't that excited by Potter's installation there. And listen, they want to run this as a business. If the fans are yapping at the end of the season, I think they'll get rid.
What about you? What about you, Doyle?
I think.
I mean, you're at a club in Liverpool that they look like they'd be very loyal.
Yeah.
And listen, the Klopp's been winning for year in, year out. But even with the little blips that he's had, you can see that everyone's right behind him.
Yeah.
But with Chelsea, it's a different type of club, Chelsea. I mean, they've over the last 20 years, they've been used to chopping a guy if he doesn't deliver. And we all know that Potter's going to need a bit of time.
Definitely. I think it's weird. The owners have made compromising decisions on both sides. So they're basically clashing. So what they're saying is, we're going to buy Potter, who is a long-term manager, so you can't expect instant success. But also at the same time, we had a plan around Tuchel buying Aubameyang, and we wanted that instant success with him, but it's not worked out. So I don't understand what their logic is right now. I think they've just come in as inexperienced owners, if I'm quite honest with you, and just been excited. That's what's happened. They just give money out to a manager they don't really trust, sacked him, and now they've got to trust this manager in Graham Potter, who is going to be a yes man for them and agree with everything they have to say, work with their agenda. And I think that's going to be in the benefit of the owners rather than the fans.
The owner pitched an idea to Tuchel of 4-4-3.
With 3, yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way,
it's
that's
a yes
11
man.
players. I have to just say, 4-4-3. How many players is that, guys? Is that 11? So he's the only man to come in here and include the goalkeeper, and you want to slag him off for it?
I think it's genuinely just going to take a lot of room for growth from the owners and the managers and the fans and expectations around everything right now, because your club is changing. It's not the old Chelsea. You're not going to spend the money. You're not going to do the things that you've done before.
But they're still spending the money.
They are, but I don't think it's going to be the same way, because you look at Roman Abramovich, he's a smart man, he's a businessman, he was making money before this, right? And I know this fella is as well, but not in this type of way. This is completely different for him. So I don't think that they're just going to go out and spend willy-nilly. I think what's going to happen is, if they don't get success instantly, they might withdraw some of the money and keep it in the pockets and start going in a different way, which is what they're doing in a long-term success now with young players in the squad, Graham Potter. I think it's the right thing, the move for Chelsea to do. I don't know whether or not it's going to work though, because the culture around the club is just not that.
A lot of people are saying that, and it's the right, they're pleased that, Potter, who's obviously a talented manager, has got a chance. They're pleased that, he will be able to bring a new style to Chelsea, but it is still that lingering thing of the Chelsea, you could almost call it the Chelsea way
Yeah.
in the last 20 years, right? Has been, if you don't deliver something, you're out.
And like I said,
And are we sure that that's going to change under this new ownership?
Well,
you're the Chelsea fan.
it's-
What do you think?
it's getting harder and harder to deliver instant success, right? Because of the institutional build-up of Man City and Liverpool, the way that they've done their long-term project. Before, when you was coming in, everybody was destabilised, so you could go in and win instantly because nothing was planned or prepped. So for me, we have to look in this kind of manner. And yeah, there will be some Chelsea fans online that will, kick up a fuss if we are in the positions that you're talking about. But the people in the ground, I haven't heard them sing Tuchel out or chant Lampard out. So the last couple
They're
of
only there
managers,
for 1 week. They don't know the word.
the last couple of managers haven't been driven out by the fan base. It's been more ownership making that decision. So I'm still not sure that Chelsea fans, the majority of them are just going to go down this hire and fire model. I think it is a small section, but that exists in every fan base. West Ham right now, they're talking about Moyes out. There's a couple Liverpool fans online.
No, I've never seen a Liverpool. No, lads. No.
Arteta, it's happened many
I do
times
not
for you
accept
guys.
it,
2
okay.
or 3 times I've seen Arteta out.
But that just shows you that the patience of football fans are not what
Yeah,
it
it's
used
And
to
that's
be.
what I was about to say.
It's
You
not
know,
just
you
Chelsea.
winning the
But-
Champions League recently might be in your disadvantage, lad, because you've just had success.
Yeah.
So now, going from winning a Champions League, you might have to wait another 4 or 5 years before.
What's
you're
a good
successful
season
again.
for Potter this
Oh,
year?
a good season's definitely, make sure you're in the top 4 and try and snag a cup.
What's your
FA Cup or
actually? No,
Carabao
let me
Cup.
rephrase that. What's
Yeah.
your expectation?
I still expect us to finish in the top 4. We've got the squad to do it. We've got the quality. We spent the money, although he didn't spend it, and then try and win an FA Cup or Carabao Cup.
And
I
if
think-
you don't,
If you don't, then I'll have to accept it, and when we go into the next season, we try and build. But that's what I would want to see.
Okay.
You're not going to hear me say Potter out this
all
season.
right, I'm not asking you to say that. Right, so I'm going to ask a question though. Right, once again, the question I asked right at the start. Right, if he doesn't get a trophy this season and finishes outside the top 4, just a yes or no question. Will he still be in a job?
I think he will. Yeah.
No.
No.
And for me, it's no as well. I want to find out from you guys. Let us know in the comments below. Same question. Would he still be in a job or would he be out of a job? Let us know. Chelsea fans especially want to hear from you. Want to hear from all of you guys. But thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next one.